All right, we're back, and Alex is pissed. That's all. That's what I'm gonna say right now. John, please.
So today is it's a bit of a unique circumstance for this recording because we were going to wait for free agency to slow down a little bit more, come to a more clear conclusion. We're still waiting for the likes of Le'Veon Bell and some other big names to land. But four about 4-ish hours ago, the Giants traded Odell Beckham Jr. to the Cleveland Browns for a couple of draft picks and safety slash linebacker Jabril Peppers. This coming off the heels of Odell Beckham Jr. signing a record extension at the time, about 10 months ago with the Giants, and he is now on his way to Cleveland. Needless to say, the past 5 years for the Giants have not been a bright spot in New York sports, but this is a definite black eye for the franchise as Dave Gettleman even went on the record saying they didn't re-sign Odell to trade him. So, Alex, now that it's been a couple hours, you've looked at it, you've thought about it a little bit. Your first thought now that the Giants have indeed traded Odell Beckham Jr. out of the or off the team.
So, I mean, my initial reaction was literally I fell on the floor at work and just was face down for about a solid 5 minutes. After that, it was. I mean, I literally went through the 5 stages of grief. I went through acceptance. I went through bargaining. I went through anger. I went through anger again, and then like I was like, well, what the hell can I do? It is what it is. But um, this is the most infuriating thing in the world as a Giants fan because of exactly what John said. 5 months ago, we were hearing Odell's resigned for the long term. He's not here for the short term. We're keeping him around. So of course I was like, perfect, excellent. So the future is Odell Beckham, Saquon Barkley, and whoever the hell we find via the draft to play quarterback. So that's not going to happen. Clearly, as a Giants fan, I'm fucking infuriated, and as a football fan, it's exciting, but I think, okay, this is how you know it's bad. I called my father after I got off of work. My dad's 60 is about to be 60 in a year. He's 59, and I told him, "Did you see what happened with Odell Beckham?" He said, "Yeah, people on Twitter are not nice about that." And if my father is realizing, a 59-year-old man that has a Twitter account is realizing that this is not what the Giants had in place, and people are bad mouthing the Giants. They should. Let's be honest. What we got in return, a first, okay, great, it's a 17th overall pick. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm okay with it. A third round pick, that's going to be some guy, and Jabril Peppers go blue. But like, come on, man, just come on, like Gettleman, you were brought in to be better than the last guy, and so far you're worse, I think, with this move. The biggest problem that the Giants had, of course, everyone was like, "Oh, their offensive line is terrible, their defense is mediocre." None of those issues have been addressed, other than fortifying your defense with Antoine Bethea and young Jabril Peppers, and then sending Olivier Vernon, a defensive edge rusher, to the Browns as well for what's his name, Billy Ziner. I don't even remember his name. Hey, regardless, this this trade is bullshit. I'm really angry. I told John already. This is like, because I was at that level of fandom with Odell Beckham. Like I was like, oh sweet, he re-signed. He's here forever. He's going to be a Giant and for the foreseeable future. And then he got traded. And in my mind, that's like if like I guess this is a good comparison. If like Aaron Judge got traded yet tomorrow, like I'd be devastated as a baseball fan and as a Yankees fan. I'd be so mad that they decided to make that move. But and of course, oh my gosh, again, I'm just thinking of things that make me angry. You got like Mike Francesa out there saying like, oh, that he just didn't get it. This was bound to happen. Yada yada yada. Like he's some kind of fucking football guru. Again, I'm sorry for the harsh language, but I just hate people that were like, oh yeah, we saw this coming. It was fine. We knew the Giants were going to do this one way or another because Odell Beckham's a cancer. He's not a freaking cancer. He's not a problem. The media just portrayed him to be a problem. If you look at the numbers that he's producing, like there's not many players in the NFL that do what he does. And now you're going to go a good Baker Mayfield who had a good first year, Jarvis Landry on one side, Odell Beckham on the other. Like, and not only do you have Kareem Hunt and you have Nick Chubb there, like Browns have got it figured out on the offensive side. Defensive side, I mean, they still got Denzel Ward. They've still got guys that are going to play. But man, like, just furious. Just furious was my first reaction.
Well, this isn't going to make you feel any better because very rarely do you see a wide receiver in his prime on a relatively manageable contract. Mind you, the Browns have plenty of cap space right now with the amount of rookie deals they have. So their window right now just opened until they have to pay, a Baker Mayfield, a Nick Chubb, Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, all those guys. So the reason this is going to make you feel any better, Alex, how many receivers, I mean, we're going to exclude Odell's 2017 because he was hurt most of that year. Do you know that are consistently putting up 1,000-yard seasons and commanding the attention he does? Just to kind of run it down for you. For his career, now mind you, Odell is, yes, he's going into his age 27 season. He is sitting at just under 5,500 yards on 390 catches. He started 56 out of a possible 59 games, and he's recorded 44 receiving touchdowns. And if you want to get even further, his yards per game are just a shade under 100 at 92.8. He's a game breaker in every sense of the word. Guys like these should not become available for that very reason because talent like that.
Hold on. Let's put this on hold for just a quick second because I just got a notification that Le'Veon Bell is signing with the goddamn Jets.
The goddamn Jets? Yep, from Adam Schefter himself. Former Steelers running back plans to sign with the New York Jets.
Just kicking me while I'm down.
The goddamn Jets.
Okay, we'll visit that in a second. Go ahead.
Point being, Alex, not only just the numbers of Odell, but he's still going to continue putting up this production, assuming health holds up and everything. And let's face it, he just got an upgrade at quarterback and supporting cast. We could probably see career years for Odell for the next couple seasons here. And it's always going to circle back to this was a complete gaffe by the front office. They let the media take control of the narrative. Essentially they let, Odell get pushed out of town like that, and they didn't stand up for the guy. And I think the big elephant in the room that we're going to address here is that they picked Eli over Odell. The Giants brass did not have the male fortitude to push Eli out when the time has come. There was a big hubbub when McAdoo, sat him, broke his starting streak. Obviously, that was a complete fumble in that sense, but, that kind of sums up the whole McAdoo, era, all 2 years of it. But for their inability to now move on from Eli, then to go and invest the number 2 overall pick in Saquon Barkley, who is an exceptional talent, you pick him, you're deciding this is what we're going to build on. We're going to try and squeeze whatever talent we can get left out of Eli, maybe find a guy we can bring along slowly, but still have a supporting cast for the next guy to step into. All of that now has gone out the window. Like, I don't know how the Giants can justify, like you said, re-signing Odell, committing to building around him and Saquon, but then turn around and send him out of town. Because if you're going to be now picking again in the first round, are you going to be able to get talent that matches the production and the talent of Odell Beckham? I doubt it. I really do.
Yeah. First and foremost, so the Giants have been in this for about 3 years now, right? I think you said 2016 was their first 6-10 season, and then no, 2016 was the boat thing, right?
Yes, that was the last Giants playoff appearance. They did go 11-5 that year, and after their season finale in Washington, that's when him, Sterling Shepard, Victor Cruz, all headed down and apparently forgot their shirts, but made sure to bring their Tims and took that infamous boat picture.
Yeah, so 2016 is really the start of this whole thing. Um, I mean, look, I love Eli Manning as much as the next person. Don't get me wrong. I think I appreciate what he's done for that football team in the time that he's been there. But I mean, if you go back and look at the way that Eli was signed, I mean, the fact that he refused to go to San Diego, the fact that you push out Kurt Warner, who at that time wasn't having a great season, but he had been to a Super Bowl before and he was a consistent quarterback. You push Kurt Warner out to start Eli Manning. And I mean, if you go back, and that's the thing is like, and this is again, this may be, comparing apples and oranges here, but imagine if Odell Beckham was the one who did all that stuff.
Well, yeah, that's where I think the double standard lies because I know one of the comparisons a lot of people make was, the antics of a Rob Gronkowski versus an Odell Beckham Jr. It was all a selective narrative that was not fair to OBJ. Yes, he had his outbursts, and yeah, he was outspoken in some areas, but it was never detrimental to what the team was trying to accomplish or what they wanted to kind of control. You have
And
a
then you had Ben McAdoo throwing players under the bus like Odell Beckham saying, "Yeah, we had a conversation and we told him he can't be doing that anymore." Dude, keep that in house.
well, that just that speaks to McAdoo's inabilities to control a room, never mind an entire locker room. His shortcomings were more ways tied to how he not only handled matters internally, but how he carried himself to the media as well. Like the guy looked like an absolute joke. So he was probably one of the worst 5 people to be in charge of a situation that included an Odell. And now the current Giants core is essentially having to pay the prices for what they weren't able to address in the past, and it's going to set them back now a couple seasons, if not more.
I honestly think this is um man, a long time. Like Saquon is gonna be old by the time we're good. And Saquon is going to his sophomore season. Like that's really what hurts me the most is like knowing that a player like Saquon Barkley is now gonna be wasted in Giants blue. And like that's the and not I mean not, again, not to say like, who the hell knows what happens. Crazier stuff has happened. Like God forbid, because I don't wish any of this on any player. But God forbid the Browns or Baker Mayfield tears an ACL or Jarvis Landry breaks an ankle or Nick Chubb, you know, gets turf toe and is unavailable for 6 games and Kareem Hunt suspended for the entire whatever the case may have be. Like there's no perfect situation in football and in any sport really, but if you look at what the Giants have at the moment, it's just there's so much sorrow. Like there's just like that's a good way of putting it. Is like you look at that team and you just go in a huff. Like you just go like, oh, we have Saquon Barkley. That's it.
I mean, if you do want to get into it, yeah, there is draft capital, but that's that's a hard sell to one of the most impatient sports cities in the country, if not the most. It's It just like we keep saying, it's going back to the inability to mend the situation in the moment and kind of pushing it off. And then the Giants, probably made the worst move I think they could have made. And this is coming off the string of some, failed off seasons. They go out and they've spent in free agency. Look at Janoris Jenkins, look at Snacks Harrison, Olivier Vernon, Brandon Marshall. I'm forgetting another name in there, but if you're going out and spending money like that, these guys aren't even lasting to their third, fourth years. They're becoming casualties because of, again, inability to address situations in the moment. And it may look like it's a short-term solution that kind of bridges you to the next, your next core, the next group of players coming in. But the Giants never brought the next guys in. They just kept trying to patch job and spend, and eventually it all catches up to them.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to bring a little bit of brightness into this conversation because there's a silver lining here. And so the Giants have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 draft picks this year. 2 in the first, 4 in the fifth round, 4 in the fifth round, 1 in the sixth, and 2 in the seventh. So to say that the Giants are going to be young next year is probably an understatement. But I mean, you've got the sixth and the 17th overall, 37th overall. So there's going to be young players are going to be coming in. But I mean, this may also be, but we've got to think that with the number 6 overall pick, they're going to go quarterback, right?
I mean, that's almost got to be what they have to address. But just with the amount of freak athleticism on offense and defense, I think the Giants can, weigh their options here. But like you were saying, with the amount of picks they have, they can almost start replenishing the roster with fairly cheap talent. And I say cheap in the sense of, rookie contracts aren't going to hurt your cap number too much. And one of the big stings about this Odell situation is now that the Giants are stuck with $16 million in dead money from this Odell extension. Again, another mark on Gettleman there, because don't get me wrong, this is all inexcusable.
Well,
and I think this doesn't get a pass.
And I think even before that, the Giants have the most dead money in the NFL. I could be wrong about that, but I remember seeing this during. I'm checking that out right now. Give me a second. But I remember seeing this during the season and just going oh, okay, cool. So how much dead money do we have? We have 33.6 dollars in dead money. And I'm pretty sure we have the most of any team. So that's just, that's inexcusable. That's absolutely inexcusable. And I'm looking here. Yep, we have the most dead money of any NFL team. The next closest is the Ravens, and they have 23.
Dead money for a dead fan base. Kind of goes hand in hand.
That's literally what it feels like. I mean, it's inexcusable. It's just absolutely inexcusable. And I hate saying oh, fans deserve better than that. Fans deserve better than this. But dude, handle your business. That's just business 101. Handle your business, and the Giants are not.
So realistically, Alex, where do you want the Giants to go from here?
Well, number one is getting Eli out of town. Whether he retires, whether he decides to stick around in a backup role, whatever, that's up to him and the Giants brass in order to decide that. But number one is change out the quarterback. You've got to get a new regime in. You've got still Shermer there, and I mean Shermer, yeah, he's probably hurt by the loss of Odell because look, this sounds terrible, but think about the two most memorable plays that the Giants had last year. What were they? They were pass plays from Odell Beckham. And so, you can't really you've got to figure that out. And then at the same time, you've also just got to revamp the defense. I mean, look, you've already addressed the safety issue with Bethea and now Jabril Peppers, okay. But you're still missing front seven help. And let's be honest, Norris Jenkins and BW Webb are not going to cut it.
I mean, realistically, it should be a fireable offense thinking you can replace Landon Collins, who was a top tier safety in a lot of people's eyes, with Antoine Bethea, who again he's not a bad player, but that's an aging guy on your back end. So that's just another patchwork.
And think about, so the franchise tag number would have been about 11.2 million, I think, is what he was. But I mean, again, Landon Collins was very adamant on saying, if you franchise tag me, I will not play for you.
Yeah, it's tough, man, but this is the reality you live in. I mean, the NFC East, God knows what the Cowboys are going to look like. The Redskins are, the dead skins for a reason. And then who knows what Carson Wentz is going to be coming into, a full season of rehab, or excuse me, a full off season of rehab and kind of getting back on track. So it's going to be a tough turnaround for the Giants in the short term. So another question I have for you. Would this have been worse had he got traded to the Patriots?
I don't know. Like, okay, that's the thing is, like, you know this about me, Jonathan Michael. I dislike Boston teams, but I respect the shit out of them. I'm literally Vince Vaughn's character from Anchorman. Like, I will bring you close and say, God damn it, Ron Burgundy, I hate you, but I respect you.
Talking to the guy that lives in San Diego too.
Exactly. So, like, and that's the thing is, like outside of the Bruins, because I actually do like the Bruins a lot. I think they're a good team. But, like, yeah, the Red Sox, I just can't root for them, but I respect them. The Patriots, can't root for them, but I respect them. The Celtics, same thing. Just I can't root for them, but I respect them.
Are we still on for Patch Giants whenever that game is?
I mean, I'll wear a paper bag over my head, but I'll go.
You wear a paper bag and a sad Saquon jersey, so we'll pencil it in. I was going to say, let's look at the other side of this trade. So we mentioned that the Browns are set up perfectly. Right now, they shot up to 17-1 their Super Bowl odds, which, the pressure now, though, you have expectations if you're Cleveland. And with a roster everyone's, well, that's the thing. Now everyone's going to expect good things from them. And majority of that team is under 27 years old. So running down Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, who knows when he's going to show up, David Njoku, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, Antonio Callaway. Offense is pretty set now. Defense, Myles Garrett, Christian Kirksey, Denzel Ward. I'm missing a name that I can't find right here, but needless to say,
that's all. Jabril Peppers, he's a Giant now.
Jabril Peppers is a Giant, so more power to him. Now, realistically, if you had to pick right now, what's going to be the Browns' record come the end of next season?
Conservatively, I say 10-6. Aggressively, I say 12-4.
Are they going to be a top 3 seed in the AFC next year?
Pittsburgh's crap. The Ravens are crap. Who else is in that division?
The Bengals.
The Bengals are Marvin Lewis finally decided to quit his job. So, yeah. By default?
Well, if you look at the AFC, you have New England, you have Kansas City, and then it's Cleveland.
I mean,
we don't know what Jacksonville is going to be with Nick Foles because, and we'll get into this on a deeper podcast, but Pittsburgh, like we said, isn't going to be the same. The AFC East, who knows what the other 3 teams are going to give you. We don't know if the Los Angeles Chargers can run it back yet. So doors open, Cleveland. Time to walk through it.
I mean, as I already told you, I'm actively searching for a new team for the foreseeable future until the Giants are good again. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe I go be a dog pound. I'm also throwing around the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm also open to the Tennessee Titans. Not completely opposed to the Houston Texans as well, just because I do like Jadeveon Clowney and JJ Watt, and of course,
I think he got the franchise tag if I'm not mistaken, but
So that's the thing; they don't know if they're going to franchise tag him as a D end or as a linebacker. There's like a $2.5 million difference in both those. But Deshaun Watson's there. DeAndre Hopkins is there. You've still got Will Fuller, the whatever, the fifth or whatever he is at this point. So I mean, throwing around some teams here. No jerseys. Not going to buy any jerseys, but I'll actively root for them. Will not buy any merchandise.
tough times, buddy. Tough times. So,
Yeah. And now the Jets got Le'Veon Bell. Mother of God.
yeah, the Jets were another team that had a lot of money to spend. So they get something out of the running back position, but we don't know what Le'Veon's going to look like after a year off from football. So
what are you talking about? He's going to run train on the entire. Hey, I'm sorry, John, but it'll be interesting to see how he does when he plays the Patriots.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I can actually bring up his games against the Patriots for you right now. In 3 regular season games against the Patriots, Le'Veon Bell has rushed the ball 61 times for 272 yards. That's 4.4 a yard per carry.
Oh, no, that's actually pretty good.
He has 1 touchdown. He has 19 receptions for 181 yards, no touchdowns. In the 1 playoff game against the Patriots, he ran the ball 6 times for 20 yards and is 0-4 lifetime against the Patriots.
Yeah, but it's also the Jets, so we'll see.
Like I said, we'll be circling back on all free agency moves here in the next couple of days. But needless to say, this day, March 12th, 2019, not a banner day for the Giants fandom. You think you're going to make it? Of course you will. Well then, as the Giants kind of figure out where they want to go from here, they've now made their bed. They have to lie in it.
Yeah,
that's just
totally.
simple. Like now you have to live with the backlash and what you've brought upon yourself.
Nope, 100%. You're completely right about that.
Any last thoughts, sir?
For all the people that became Browns fans today, good luck. Remember,
it will get you.
Remember, it's still Cleveland. And I don't know why. I'm crossing sports here, but I have a feeling that we're going to see LeBron James in an Odell Beckham jersey here in a couple months.
LeBron's his boys with everybody, so don't count it out. Have you heard from Tim Hortons yet?
Tim Hortons is, at this point, even Dunkin' Donuts is out because they're the official coffee of the New York Giants. I think
we are not taking Dunkin' slander on this podcast. Never.
It wasn't Dunkin' slander, it was Giant slander because I don't want to associate myself with them because they're the official partner of the Giants. I think at this point, I'm gonna reach out to Seattle's Best, see what happens.
Whoa. We want good coffee to sponsor us, not some over caffeinated chocolate water.
What's Pete's doing?
You know what, Pete's? Look at your Twitter mentions. Be on the lookout.
I think that's the way to go.
All right, sir. Anything to plug?
Twitter. Find us on Twitter. We've been very active on Twitter. The Grams. Find us on the Grams. And yeah, guys, listen and pray for my soul. Just heartbreak hurts,
WFN will be must listen radio tomorrow, so There are going to be some good
Oh,
audio
no,
coming on the morning drive.
oh no, he already. I mean, I'm pretty sure Boomer and Gio, because it's not Boomer and Carton anymore. I'm pretty sure that Boomer Esiason is about to rip the Giants a new one, and I'm so looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be
And
great.
I'm 99% sure if Michael K is on radio tomorrow, I just want to hear who he has on, because God, it's going to be ugly.
Well, like you said, Yankees baseball here kicks off in about 2.5 weeks. And with that being said, look out for the baseball previews coming soon.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening.